Over McNeil to the left. Now, Lujan in motion right. All alone is Bob Tucker. Tucker out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, the New York Giants. I came up with there's like, it says the 5 biggest positional battles coming up in training camp. That was just some of the positional battles I want to keep an eye on. Obviously, I'm not going to be there, so I'm going to need, we'll see, people writing stuff up, articles and all that. So just stuff I want to keep an eye on, to see what's going to go on. I also got like maybe a couple small, ones that didn't quite make the top 5 that I'll bring up as well too. But there are some interesting ones out there. Not everything is pretty much cut and dry. Shall we say, as far as who's going to be taking command of a certain position. Some of it is going to wind up being you got guys maybe from the prior regime who might be the starters, maybe like now. But there's guys that got drafted by the new regime, which might be might be sliding on in there and maybe taking over some of the, some of the positions, maybe somewhere down along the line. If not right away, maybe throughout the season. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. But there was some ones that I definitely wanted to keep an eye on. As I said, there's a couple that I got, a couple honorable mentions that I have. So let's take a deep dive into this, not so much an article I wrote up, but just a little theme that I came up with here. The 5 biggest positional battles coming up in training camp. All right, the New York Giants. Here we go. Let's see. One of my first things, one thing I was kind of wondering, all right, now I got the 5, right, 5 most, to me, the 5 biggest positional battles coming up in training camp. That was intriguing to me, all right. I have, there's a couple other ones. One thing I wanted to, was kind of a little wondering here. It's like, how many tight ends are they going to keep on the active roster? How many might go on the practice squad? Are they going to have 2 tight ends on the active roster, maybe 3 tight ends on the active roster, maybe 2 tight ends, and then maybe have maybe a Jeremiah Hall, the guy, who play a fullback or a tight end. He's like a bowling ball, 6'2", 250 pounds. He's pretty much like a bowling ball. So I have somebody like maybe him and have 2 tight ends. We're kind of interesting to see how the Giants were going to go approach something like that. And, the other thing, all right, was it's kind of interesting how it's Adoree Jackson is pretty much going to be our number 1 cornerback. The other thing was that, Aaron Robinson seems to have the inside, all right, position possibly to take over the number 2. I mean, that's stuff I'm seeing, stuff I'm reading and all and everything. So I'll have to wait and see. But does any of these other guys, because we got a boatload of guys here, Michael Jaquette, Reese Kennedy, Darren Evans, okay, we just got, Darius Williams, Zyron Gilbert, right? And any of these other guys, Khalil Dorsey. We got a lot of guys that can be, cornerbacks. And obviously, all of these guys, this ain't no final 53 right here. Some of these guys will be on the practice squad. Some of these guys won't be on the team anymore after the season, once the season starts and everything. But I'm just kind of interested to see, is Aaron Robinson, because, he only played so much last year because he had like a muscle core surgery before the season. So he was out for a little while. So he didn't play the whole season, So they got a little taste of what he could do. But once again, he's not a Shane or Dable guy. He was from the previous regime, okay? So we brought in some other guys, all right, who are going to maybe push him for some playing, Aaron Robinson for some playing time. So I'm kind of interested to see, is he locked and loaded in the cornerback 2 position? Very interested to see that. All right, but it brings me up to my first positional battle, okay, is the tight end position. All right, we got Daniel Bellinger, and then you got Ricky Seals-Jones and Jordan Akins, okay? Then you got, we got a lot of guys here, 7. And we, 7, and then of course, we let some, Kyle Rudolph go, Evan Ingram go, we had a lot of guys, Rice and John, let them go. But I mean, there's a lot. There was got like 7 of them, okay, on the roster. So very interesting to see, how many they keep on the active roster from game to game, okay. But this Daniel Bellinger, who seems like, when at San Diego State, okay, he was kind of maybe overlooked a little bit, maybe for his passing game or his pass receiving skills, because when you go to San Diego State, they do have a tendency to run the ball. So if you're the tight end there, you need to be able to block, okay? So, he can block. And he has some skills, obviously, as far as catching the ball. I believe he had a 3% drop rate in college, which obviously is very, very good. So if you get the ball in his hands or get the ball to him, it's a very good chance of catching the ball. The thing is, he's not like an Evan Ingram where he's going to create a lot of separation. All right, so, but the thing is he's just a rookie. All right. We got these other guys, Ricky Seals-Jones and Jordan Akins. Ricky Seals-Jones, he's been around, as we see here. He's 2 years in Arizona, 1 with Cleveland, 1 with Kansas City, 1 with Washington, and now he's here with the New York Giants. All right, so he's been around. All right, and then let's say, but it seems like he's more of a better of a blocker. Okay, than possibly a receiver. All right. Now you see his run block is a 56.3, nothing super spectacular. But his pass block, this was last year, was a 67. Okay. Pass block is 67, 78, 83. Run blocking was nothing really super spectacular. Okay, but it seems like he's maybe possibly a little bit better of a blocker. Okay, than Jordan Akins. Okay, Jordan Akins. Now, Jordan Akins has only played a few years, all right, in the NFL, 4. All right. However, he's 30. Okay, so it's like, how does that work? He's only played 4. He should be like 26. Now he's 30 because he spent some time in, I think it was the Texas Rangers farm system, and like from 2010. So he was trying to play baseball. Okay, and I guess it just never worked out or whatever. But nice size, 6'4", 243. He's more of a he's a decently in the passing game. He's kind of a little bit more of a mismatch, okay, than maybe a Ricky Seals-Jones were. But possibly he's not maybe quite as good as a blocker. As you see here, like last year, pass blocker, pass grade of a 5, a 23, a 39. Some of these run grades 40, 36, 42, 37. So it seems like maybe Ricky Seals-Jones is maybe a little bit better as a blocking kind of tight end, and then Jordan Akins might be better as a receiver. Now then we got Daniel Bellinger, okay, who can seem to possibly be the best of both worlds, but he has the least amount of experience. So be interesting to see, who winds up going in, opening day as the number 1 tight end, because I think absolutely. I think I have 2 tight ends in certain situations during the game. Absolutely, without question. But the thing is obviously you're going to have Daniel Jones and your 5 offensive linemen. That's 6 guys. So you only got 5 other guys out there. So we're going to have a running back, right? So now you're down to 4. And if they're going to try to get Wandale out there, try to get Kadarius if he decides to play, if he's healthy. Kenny Galladay out there, if we can, Sterling Shepard out there, so there's only going to be so much for room for tight ends, especially, if we had like two Evan Ingrams, right? Two just total straight, or two Travis Kelce's, or, something where it just really mismatches, then I can see them putting two tight ends out there a lot. This would be more, if they're going to have two tight ends, would be more like, maybe possibly running situations or down maybe by the goal line or something like that. I can't see them trying to, if you got five guys who can maybe run pass patterns, I can't see him out of those five taking two of them up for like a Ricky Seals-Jones and a Jordan Akins. I can't see that happening. So it'd be very, very interesting to see how many tight ends they have on the active roster going from game to game. But I want to, keep an eye on this Daniel Bellinger, the fourth round pick, right, from San Diego State. Does he step in pretty much day one and get the starting job? Okay. Very interesting to see that. Okay, which brings me to my next one. Now, they got it here, all right, which is the left guard. Now, obviously, Shane Lemieux, okay, seems to have the inside track to be the starting guard, left guard, okay? But once again, he's from the previous regime, all right? He's not from, he's not a Shane or Dable guy. Certainly doesn't mean that, Shane and Dable despise him or don't want him there or anything of that sort. It's just that, they bring in their own guys, so they're going to kind of maybe favor their own guys, maybe a little bit, all right? But the things with Azudo, what I love with Azudo is that, his flexibility. It's just, really, really, last year, well, it wasn't even last year, it was, couple of the years, but like last year with North Carolina, he played left tackle, left guard. He's playing left tackle and left guard, right? And he played left tackle and left guard sometimes in the same game. And sometimes what I was seeing is he played left tackle and left guard on the same drive. He would switch positions. Talking about flexibility, versatility. Holy cow. Two offensive line positions. Not just once. Multiple times. Right? He's really, really good. So, going to have to keep I want to really keep an eye on him. This is 2020. 2020, he played left guard, he played left tackle, and he played right tackle. Right? What do we got? Okay. Within a 4-game stretch, right, he played left guard, left tackle, and right. Within a 3-game stretch. Against Florida State, he played left guard. NC State, he played left tackle. Virginia, he played right tackle. Right? Talking about versatility. Now, they got him here. That's just on this, okay, depth chart right here. They got him behind Andrew Thomas. Now, we're kind of hoping that, anybody's behind Andrew Thomas is just going to be sitting on the bench because we want Andrew Thomas nice and healthy. We want him playing. We don't want that dude ever coming off the freaking field. Okay. So, on this depth chart here, to have him behind Andrew Thomas is a little bit of a head scratcher. He was, I thought at one time, behind Shane Lemieux. There might be the battle between Shane Lemieux and Joshua Azudu for the left guard position. All right. Because, Shane Lemieux, he played last year. He played the 17 snaps first week of the season, had the partially torn patella tendon. I think it was a non-contact injury. One of the first practices they had, he went down, had to cart him off the field, and it was bothering him the whole time. And now he did very well for himself in those 17 snaps. It was about a quarter. He played like the first quarter. And that was it. His season was over. Okay. 69 on the offense, right? His run block was a 63. His pass block was 81.5. Okay. Very, very good. Very, very good. Let's see here. Where was it? Snaps by position. Offensive grade chart, blocking. Right. Okay. Now, I think he had, okay. All right. Out of the 17 snaps, 12 were pass blocks. So out of the 12 pass plays, 81.5. Very small sample size, though. Very small. But however, we'll look the year before, his rookie season, 299, he graded out as 16.9 in the pass block grade. I mean, talking about night and day. Okay? I mean, night and day. So now who are you going to get this year? You're going to get the Shane Lemieux from last year, who played 17 snaps and graded out very well. Or you're going to get maybe the guy from his rookie season in 2020 who graded out at a 32.2 overall. Or you're going to get somebody kind of in the middle. Very, very interesting. Now, as I said, because, they spent a third-round pick on Joshua Ezeudu. I'm having a hard time believing he's going to be the backup to Andrew Thomas. I mean, unless they're going to have like a lot of sets where they're going to have bring him in like a big body set or and have him be maybe have 2 tackles or something like that. But I mean, I can't I don't know. I have to wait and see. That's one of the things I want to see. Where does Joshua Ezeudu wind up being? Okay, does he wind up being the backup behind Shane Lemieux, or is he being the backup behind Andrew Thomas? But as I said, I thought that at one point in time, Joshua Ezeudu was the backup to Shane Lemieux. And I was kind of like, I wonder if they're going to be just battling out to see who the best man win is. But that's something else I definitely want to keep an eye on during training camp going forward and see who winds up making it. To hopefully everybody is healthy, right? Everybody makes it, through training camp healthy and to the regular season. But that's something I'm going to keep an eye on. And then we got then the other thing. Number 3, would be the wide receivers. Now, we've got Sterling Shepard. Now, he might be starting the season on the physically unable to play list, the PUP list. So now, that leaves Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney. Now, hopefully, if we're lucky, Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay will actually be healthy, all right? Then it might slide Wan'Dale Robinson up over here, so we might have Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, and Wan'Dale Robinson might be our starting 3. Now, all right, who will be the backups? I mean, because you can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 9. We got 10 guys. All right. Well, 10 guys, and that does include Wan'Dale, Sterling, Kadarius, or Kenny Golladay. All right. So we got 10 guys back there. Now, I think they're going to keep maybe like 6 wide receivers, possibly from a week-to-week thing. So you have your starting 3. All right. And then you have 3 backups. Now, with Sterling Shepard, once he comes back, I mean, as I said, once again, as long as Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney are healthy, right, you'll have Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson. Those would be the 4 guys, all right, as long as they're healthy, once again. Now, the big question is, who are the other guys going to be? They got Darius Slayton, all right, now, player number 3. I mean, third round, he's the third stringer they got. This is not all obviously written in stone and everything, but they got C.J. Board, right, who's been has been hanging around the Giants for a while. We got Richie James, who they brought in, all right, this offseason. All right, we drafted Wan'Dale Robinson. David Sills has been around. Now, but just because these guys have been around, which is fantastic and all and everything, once again, they're not Shane and Dable guys. Darius Slayton, who was drafted by Dave Gettleman, all right, who's had a very nice rookie season, and just the last 2 seasons just been kind of downers. Now he's in his contract, so he's going to want to do as well as he can this year, because if he's not going to get paid by the Giants, he's going to want to go out there into the world and get paid by somebody. I don't blame him, right? So this is going to be a big year for him. Then we had Colin Johnson, who was with us last year. All right, and he did an admirable job. Nothing super spectacular, but he was on the team, right, all year long. But once again, he's not a Shane or Dable guy. So we'll have to wait and see. Travis Toivonen, he was here last year, once again, but he's not a Shane or Dable guy either, right? So it'll be interesting to see. We got Keelan Doss, right? Alex Bachman, he was here last year. Austin Prohl, the son of Ricky Prohl. If Austin Prohl was good as his father, Ricky Prohl, he wouldn't be back here. He wouldn't be player number 5. He would be up here. But Austin Prohl was brought in. Okay, so that'd be interesting to see what happens to him. And we got Robert Foster. Okay, too. So I'm interested to see because you're going to have Wandale, you have Kadarius, and Kenny Golladay. As long as they're all three healthy, those would probably be the starters week one. They said, as long as they're healthy. Okay, because Sterling Shepard won't be, probably won't be ready for week one. All right, I know he's when I'm reading and all and hearing, he's working his tail off to try to get back, but it is what it is. Who will be the other guys? Okay, who will be players number 2? Okay, and then also who will be maybe the 2 guys, however many they're going to have on the practice squad. I don't know how many wide receivers they're going to want to keep on the practice squad. So it's be very, very interesting because as I said, you've got 1, 2, 3, we got 12, we got 14 wide receivers here. They're not all going to be here at the beginning of the regular season. So very, very interesting to say. So that I want to, interesting to say. I know Wandale seems like he's doing a phenomenal job. So, obviously he's on the team no matter what. Okay. Who are the other guys? All right. Very, very interesting to see that. Okay. Next one. All right. Who I'm kind of want to say would be the like the nickel back or the slot cornerback, however you want to call it. Okay. Darnay Holmes, who was with the old regime, okay, and then Cordell Flott, who just got drafted in the 3rd round by the new regime. All right. Who's going to kind of win out on that one there? I've kind of heard both things. Darnay Holmes, I heard has been doing okay, but, I heard Cordell Flott. So that very, very interesting to see. Now, you look Darnay Holmes, okay, he last year, he got a little bit, but his rookie season, he had some struggles. He graded out at 48.1. His run defense was a 42. Last year's run defense was not very good either. 38.2 tackling. Last year's tackling was better. Pass rush, right? His coverage grade last year was very good. Now, if you remember the last game that he played in, okay, the last play of the season he played in, I believe was against the Eagles. He went up, intercepted a pass. He came down and, Giants ball going the other way because of his interception, but then you'll notice he was kind of like smiling, I think, as an interception, but he was like hobbling off the field, and his season was over with. So, be interesting to see. All right, overall he didn't do too bad last year. His run defense wasn't super spectacular, okay, but tackling was good, his pass rush was good, his coverage grade, not bad. I hope with time goes by he'll get better, right? But, and now this is Cordell Flott, but this is him in college. Okay. You notice last year, his defensive grade overall was an 81.3, but, he played against some nice competition here. Okay. Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Florida, Kentucky, Auburn, right? UCLA, so he played against some pretty good teams. All right. His run defense, 58.6. He's good. He'll come up and he'll stick his nose in there. All right. His tackling is very good at 72. Coverage grade, 84.8. But once again, this is in college. This is not the NFL. Okay. Things are, so. But once again, he was drafted by Shane and Dable. So he's going, I can't say he's going to totally get the benefit of the doubt. But very, very interesting to see who winds up getting in the 3rd cornerback spot. Who's a starter. All right. But then also you got to remember, too, with Wink Martindale's defense, sometimes you might have 3 cornerbacks and 3 safeties. You might have 3 cornerbacks and 2 safeties. You might have 3 safeties and 2 cornerbacks. You don't know what you're going to wind up getting from pretty much from play to play. It's going to be like a situational kind of thing. All right. But I'm very interested to see who winds up winning out, okay, between maybe Darnay Holmes and Cordell Flott. All right. At the nickel back, the nickel corner, or the slot corner, however you want to put it. Okay. The last thing, all right, is that who is going to go, okay, against Blake? No, not against, but maybe we have like 2 inside linebackers. All right. If all right, we're going to have Blake Martinez, but who's going to be the other guys? Is it going to be Tay Crowder? Is it going to be one of these guys that we just drafted? Or possibly, if you have maybe a Blake Martinez, okay, see, some of these guys are a little bit of maybe a liability in coverage, okay? So if you have an inside linebacker, maybe like Blake Martinez, which would be, which I hope he's there, all right? Then do we wind up taking maybe a Dane Belton, okay? So we have maybe Xavier McKinney, the free safety, Julian Love at the strong safety, Blake Martinez at one inside linebacker, and take Dane Belton, walk him up to the line, keep him in the box, okay? Maybe instead of maybe a take, especially on passing situations, okay? Instead of Tay Crowder or Micah McFadden or Darion Beavers, because Micah McFadden, right? Very, very good in the box, okay? But a lot of what you read, keeping things in the box. He's a downhill kind of guy, good tackler, good this, But, you get fast guys, which they are in the NFL, breaking things outside. Sometimes, he may not, be able to catch up to the guys. In coverage, he maybe not always so much the best in coverage, okay? As you see here, against like Ohio State, against a team with good offense, good receivers and all, he graded out of the 28. Okay, nothing really super spectacular. Against Michigan in his coverage, he graded out at a 48.9. Okay, so he's very good in the box, right? And if we're looking at just like a traditional kind of 3-4 defense, and you got the two inside linebackers, you got maybe Blake Martinez and Mike McFadden, and those guys just have to worry about controlling the box, and all of that, and keeping things in front of him and everything. Well, Micah McFadden might be your man, okay? But if in this pass happy league we got now, sometimes in coverage he's going to be a little bit of a liability. He might maybe like even Jabrill Peppers, good in the box, maybe good at blitzing a quarterback and all, getting pressure on it and everything, maybe wrapping up and tackling, but he might be a little bit of a liability in coverage. Now, which leads me to also my next guy, which is Darion Beavers. Okay, same thing with him. Okay, we got Blake Martinez, but you got Micah McFadden or Darion Beavers. Who do one of these two guys maybe replace Tay Crowder? All right. Okay, because he graded out very, very well. In college. It's just in college. Okay, his pass coverage grade was 68. His pass rush was an 86. Tackling wasn't super spectacular all the time. Run defense, very good. Overall defense, very, very good. You'll notice that was his senior year. I guess if you want to call it his junior year, he graded that. Run defense was an 81.4. His tackling 75. So he's had some good. His past couple of years, he's had some good grades, without question. The thing is here, okay. Now we got, I said, do they take Dane Belton, maybe as a safety, okay? He's a safety, but do they use him more and bring him up in the box? Because you'll see, look at his coverage grade. For Iowa, 82.3. Talking about, right? That's special right there. His defense grade was a 77.1. But if you can get him up in the box, right, to help against the run, but if it winds up being a pass, he's already in the box. Maybe he can cover the tight end. You got somebody who grades out at 82.3. This is college, but it's that's not too bad, all right? Because his Tay Crowder, he led the team in tackles last year with 131. Very, very good. But you look at these grades. Some of these grades, it's his first year graded out of 36.4. Last year graded out of 29.1. So there are holes big time. His run defense, 28.4. Okay, his tackling was decent. His pass rush was so-so, but his coverage, 34.8. So there was a reason why he was the last guy picked in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, right? Give the guy all the credit in the world. Guy sticks his nose in there, led the team in tackles, 2 thumbs up to him. But, as you can see, there's some holes in this game here. There's a lot of red and orange right here, which is not very good. So very, very interesting to see. All right, this is the last one. Okay, we got Blake Martinez. All right, is one of these guys, Darion Beavers and Micah McFadden, going to overtake Tay Crowder, or is it going to wind up being like we're playing a guy by like a committee? You just revolve them in there, right? Maybe you might get one series with Darion Beavers, another one with Micah McFadden, another one with Tay Crowder, or do you wind up getting something along the lines of, as I said, like maybe a Dane Belton in there, right? So we'll have Julian Love, we'll have Xavier McKinney, and Dane Belton might turn into like maybe the Jabrill Peppers. Okay, Jabrill Peppers was a liability coverage. Dane Belton may not be. All right, so Dane Belton could be in the box. If it's a run, he'll be there to help support the run. But if it winds up being a pass, he can maybe stick to maybe a running back out of the backfield, or maybe he can cover a tight end, because as the Giants have had for so many years, the Giants always have a hard time covering tight ends.
So you see, I mean, there's still a lot up for grabs. Quite a bit. I mean, obviously, Saquon's a starting running back. Daniel Jones is starting quarterback. Injury. Hopefully everything's okay with the injuries and this, that. Evan Neal's the right tackle. Andrew Thomas is the left tackle. This, that, and the other thing. Leonard Williams, Blake Martinez. If he's ready for the regular season, Dexter Lawrence, Adoree Jackson, Xavier McKinney. Some of the guys are just write them in, pencil them in. So then there's like you have some positional battles, which are still maybe a little up in the air, which I kind of went over there, but also a lot of it's going to wind up dealing with injuries, right? Somebody gets hurt, obviously the starter is out. Somebody else is going to take a place. But I mean, as far as especially like with the wide receivers, because Sterling Shepard, right? It's probably going to start the season on the PUP list. All right, so I guess injuries, everything's hopefully Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney are clear with their injuries. Hopefully they don't have no red jerseys. But maybe have Wan'Dale Robinson, Kadarius Toney, Kenny Galladay. Maybe you're starting 3 wide receivers. Well, the Giants maybe keep 6 wide receivers on the active roster. Well, who are the other 3 going to be? Is it going to be Darius Slayton? Because remember, Darius Slayton was drafted by Dave Gettleman. Right? Dave Gettleman's not there no more. When Judge was the coach. Right, Darius Slayton was out there quite a bit, but had the Clapper calling the plays. Darius Slayton was out there, Well, they're not there no more, So what do these guys think of Darius Slayton? Darius Slayton's got, he's got a little chemistry going with Daniel Jones, right? So that's going to be tough up in the air. He's got some chemistry with Daniel Jones. However, his salary is like about $2.5 million this year. Do you see one of these other guys that you got? We got a boatload of wide receivers. Maybe can take Darius Slayton's spot, take it for a lot cheaper, get rid of Darius Slayton, save some money. Very, very interesting. I said, Blake Martinez went down. We had Tay Crowder step in there. Well, is it going to be Blake Martinez and Tay Crowder, or is Tay Crowder, from the old regime? Is he going to be, Because he led the team in tackles, but some of his numbers really were not outstanding, shall we say? Or they're going to put in, like Micah McFadden in there, or they're just going to put in maybe, with Wink Martindale. How's that going to work out? We're going to have the 2 edge rushers, maybe, 3 defensive linemen, which leaves 6 guys. We could have 1 middle linebacker, inside linebacker, right? And then 2 cornerbacks, 3 cornerbacks, and 2 safeties, or 3 safeties and 2 cornerbacks, Or we could have 2 edge rushers, 2 defensive. We could have Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence. We could have 2 edge rushers, right? You got 7 guys, and you got 1 inside linebacker. You got 3 safeties. You can move 1 safety up in the box. That way you can either cover if it's a pass, or you can go in against the run if it's a run. So I have 3 cornerbacks, 3 safeties, 1 inside linebacker. You know, it's with Wink Martindale, you have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, you don't know who's blitzing, who's not blitzing. You know, who's going to stay in coverage. But you know, and then like with Daniel Bellinger, right? I mean, he's got the least amount of experience between Akins and Seals Jones, but it seems like he might have the inside track as being maybe the starter. I'll have to wait and see. So I mean, there's you know, and then with Darnay Holmes, right? He's you know, has in times has impressed. Unfortunately, last year, sadly, you know, I think the last play he played was he had the interception against the Eagles. Came down, got injured, was hobbling off the field, and the season was over with. So I have to see, you know, can he bounce back? If not, Cordell Flott is he going to take over his spot? Because remember, you know, Darnay Holmes is from the old regime, Cordell Flott is from the new regime. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I mean, there are certainly some guys, you know, penciled in stone as far as the starters, without question. But then there are some other positional battles which certainly be worth keeping an eye on. But also along those lines, you know, also keep an eye on injuries. Hopefully there won't be that many of them. But of course, we're talking the New York Giants, and unfortunately when we talk the New York Giants, we talk injuries. So that's where depth is huge, because you know when injuries happen, and they happen to every team, you know, you got to have depth, and if you don't have depth in the NFL, you're in a lot of trouble. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there. Go Giants! Woo!